studio until your recordings have finished. Got it. Okay.
And we're live.
Whoa!
Welcome to What is Comics. I'm here with Jamie Jones. My name is Matthew Sardo.
My name is Jamie Jones.
I have so many job titles now. I founded Monkeys Fighting Robots. I am the convention director of Indie Comics Creator Con, and now I'm the digital communications director of Comic Art Fans, which hosts Original Art Expo on in January. It's a lot. That's a lot of stuff going on now, man. That's why we had to have this conversation, Jamie.
Yeah,
we had to have this conversation. There's so much going on.
We needed to catch up personally, one-to-one, friend-to-friend, and then also we've turned our friendship into content to hold us accountable to actually talk about what we need to talk about today. That's the plan.
So it isn't about us just meeting in New Haven and hanging out at the hotel bar all weekend long.
Well, that's the actual plan, but we have to have some kind of guise of professionalism moving forward, I guess.
Yes. So Original Art Expo is January 24th through the 26th in Orlando, Florida. And if you go to oax-expo.com, you can get tickets there. The reason why I brought IC3 into the Comics Art Fans umbrella is because my buddy Kezra that I know from back in the day from owning the Comic Vault in Chicago, he runs Original Art Expo, and it's an amazing show. They have 70 artists and like 30 art dealers there. It's a higher end show, but like you get a lot for that. So go to OAX or oa-expo.com. Check out all the creators. Like Humberto Ramos is going to be there, and I would just hang out with that guy all weekend long. What was that comic book store that they had the Humberto Ramos signing at? Heroes Haven.
Back in the Tampa days.
Back in the Tampa days, and yeah. I chatted with him for a while, and he was amazing.
Super fun guy. Super cool guy.
Yeah, Adam Hughes, Jimmy Palmiotti, Amanda Connor, Adam Kubert. They're going to be there as well. So, Simone Bianchi. Klaus Johnson is going to be there.
Wow.
Dan Posen, like that guy.
Dan Posen. The guy's been blowing up for a long time. I feel like every time I hear about Dan Posen, somebody's like, "Man, this guy's blowing up," and I'm like, he's been working since the 90s. He has been blowing up for the last 10 years, and it's like he's just on a rocket ship to the moon. And he deserves every second of it. He is a beast, and I like his stuff a lot.
Oh, and we forgot your title. You have a title now, too.
With IC3?
Yes.
Yes. I'm program director for IC3. I guess as well as like cartoonist of books and things. But I'm the guy who's like doing the panels and making sure show people are happy. I feel like more like guest liaison is more like show liaison. Just I'm friends with a lot of the people coming to the show, and I plan on being friends with pretty much everybody who comes to the show. So having that be an official title that's not friend of show is a good thing.
So Indie Comics Creator Con is March 15th in New Haven, Connecticut. You can go to indiecomicscreatorcon.com and check out all the creators. You can get your tickets there. Tickets are only $8. Parking's free. We host Drink and Draw on Friday night at the hotel. Then there's the show on Saturday, and then there's the epic after party on Saturday night back at the hotel. So it is a one-day show, but I feel like people turned it into a 3-day show last year.
Oh, it felt like a 3-day show last year. The Sunday made it feel like Tuesday after New York Comic-Con. You were dead. I was dead.
Yeah, no, it was that Sunday was a relief. It was exciting, but also I was dead tired because I just had so much fun and I stressed out and did all the amazing things that you do as convention director of it. But it worked out. The first show was really good.
The first show went off.
Well, you went to Heroes Con, and people were talking about Heroes Con.
Yeah. That was a big topic of conversation. I'm a big Heroes Con fan. aficionado, and a lot of people talk to me about it. I think they know because I'm friends with you. And then I got a title that I was actually working in the show. So that they were like, oh, Jamie is a guy that we can tell things about the show, and it will actually get to Matt. And that's a good thing.
Yeah. No, it's good having you as a sounding board. Like, again, like you said, like liaison. Like, people can, you have a friendly face. For some people, like, people are afraid to talk to me sometimes. I don't know if it's like how I walk through something or.
I get it.
So,
I understand.
But everybody can talk to me. It's fine. You can talk to me.
You're a good guy. I'll attest to it. Yeah, I feel like my job primarily is just like, you have an idea, and I go, is that what the show is? And you go, yeah. And I'm like, is it though? And you go, yeah, no. And then that's, so it's a lot of me just keeping things on track and keeping things.
Yeah, you're my, like, Jimmy the Cricket.
Yeah, I am your conscience. Always let your Jamie Jones be your guide, Matt. That's how we're doing this.
But didn't you dress up as the devil for Halloween this year?
Always. Listen, I have this great devil costume. It's fantastic. Always be the devil. It's hilarious. I shaved. I drew on my mustache. Commitment.
1920s Jamie. It's a niche, and it's a solid wheelhouse.
It's a look.
I went to Mice this past weekend in Boston, and the one thing I do have to say is that IC3 has free parking and lots of free parking, because parking in Boston was the most frustrating, annoying thing in the world.
Yeah.
I ended up parking at Fenway Park and taking a lift over.
Oh wow, that's rough.
It was. I did like the laps around the building, multiple laps around, and I was just like, and then I was like Googling, parking, and I was like, what, and they wouldn't, of course, Google won't tell you what is a public parking lot and all these other things, and then I went to like this park, and as soon as I drive in, there's a sign that's like, if you're not on the playground, we will tow your car. Yeah, and I was like, So my adventures parking in Boston were what you would expect. And,
cool.
But Mice was fun. Mice was really cool. It was, because I went to Terrificon, I went to New York Comic Con, I went to IC3. I'm trying to think if I went to any other conventions this year right now, but like it was really packed. It was. I always like being at college. I mean, that could be a personal thing, but like I always like being in that like college learning atmosphere, and I mean that's one of the reasons why I like Southern Connecticut. But like being at BU is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I saw, who did I see? I saw Paul Kirshner.
Yeah, and he was a guest at the show last year. Is he going to be at the show this year? Is he coming back?
Yes, he is coming back.
Nice, because I did not get a copy of The Bus, and literally every single person that I talked to was like, Jamie, it's your favorite thing. It's your favorite thing that you haven't read yet. Literally every single person at IC3 last year was adamant that I go and talk to him and buy that book. But I was very busy and did not. So this year, I will definitely make a beeline over that way.
Oh, really? Because I walked up to him, and before I could get out like high in a handshake, he's like, Matt, I owe you a copy of this. And then like I was like, okay, I'm not gonna say no. And then like he starts doing a little sketch in there and everything. And I was like, oh man, this guy knows exactly. I mean, besides food, the way to my heart is like a little doodle in the comic.
Yeah.
It goes a very long way. And that dude is amazing. And he actually lives in New Haven.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's great.
So he is
really, really putting a target on his back here, Matt.
Yeah.
But it's his hometown show. That's awesome. That's cool. That's exciting that you have a prolific indie creator in hometown as a hometown show. That's super, super cool. I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited to actually like sit down and talk with him, because I just didn't last year. There was so much going on, so many badges that needed to be passed out, and so many like reorganizing things. It was a lot of to do. The growing pains of doing a show for the first time.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to drop off everything that I need to drop off on Thursday, because I tried to drop off my stuff on Friday,
Yeah.
and when I pulled up to the loading dock, a whole bunch of creators loaded up too.
Yeah,
And I was like,
yeah,
"Oh, I'm never gonna get my stuff done now," you know?
yeah.
So you learn quickly to like, "Okay, how do I make this work? Okay, I'm gonna drop off stuff on Thursday, and
Yeah.
then I'll have my stuff taken care of, and then when creators pull up, we'll have that happen." And I'm looking forward to Friday. Like, this show is interesting because being on the back end, uh, I get to see everybody come in and set up and, like, say hi and do all these things, like, kinda like a fly on the wall kinda thing, and the same thing with, like, Saturday morning with people, I mean, the one that stands out to me is Monty Keene coming up to me lost
Mhm.
at the school and being like, "Hey, man." I was like, "Hey, dude, you looking for a comic book convention?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah, Matt. Oh, what's going on, man?" And then he's like and then I walk him in, he's like, "Man, I feel like this is what it felt like for the first San Diego Comic-Con." And I was like, "I got chills." But I was also like, "Oh, okay, cool." You're like, I don't know. I was like, "I don't know anything about the first San Diego Comic-Con." So I was like, "I think Stanley and Jack were there."
Well, there's a
They were
great
kinda
book
walk
on it, so you should go and do your research
Oh, I should?
and go pick that up.
I mean, is there a Netflix documentary yet? I mean, if there's a Netflix
No, we read in comics. We are readers, and that's
Listen,
the
there's a Kingdom Come documentary now.
yes, there is. That's very true. But that's wild to me. I like it. I like the idea that it is a thing, but it's weird. Uh,
Alright, so, anybody who's loading in who wants help, Manny Gomez has said he's willing to help everybody set up on Friday.
what a guy! What a
Yeah.
man! Manny, what a Manny! He's one man, but he's many. He's Manny Gomez.
No,
That's
Manny's the
exciting.
best.
Cool.
I've known him forever. He's he's written for Monkeys Fighting Robots for a very long time, and,
He has done every review of Monkey that I have submitted for Monkeys Fighting Robots has been done by Manny. Uh, great guy.
yeah, no, he was a huge like, he was big into the indie scene, um, way before. Like, he was like, "Hey, Matt, I got this guy who knows a guy who's got a book, and it's gonna be really good. Can I
Yeah.
review it?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, you can totally review that." I mean, like, I don't think I've ever denied a review of a book, so,
Yeah.
especially indie books and people, busting out Kickstarters and all those things. And, speaking of Kickstarter, I'm kind of excited for like, I was leading into this, and then Manny's like, "Hey, I'll work for free." But, I'm excited for Friday to kinda have a roundtable, conversation with the creators and kinda have, like, a industry conversation that we're gonna try to put together for, like, an hour, like
Yeah, yeah. The pre-drink and draw event.
the serious
The
conversation.
serious conversation, and then we can all drink our woes away after
Yeah.
after we do nothing for the industry. Yes.
Like, there should be the one thing that I'm gonna say, and if I hear anybody say it, that, like, the industry is dying, I'm just gonna be like, "We're shutting it down." Like, I don't know what I'm gonna press a buzzer, I'm gonna have a
That's a
guy.
great listen, the industry has been dying since the industry started. This is we have well past the industry dying. It's negative talk, no negative talk. I'm done with the negatives.
Yeah, 'cause
We're 2025. We're going in hard positive. That's how it has to be.
I like it, I like it. Yeah, 'cause I mean, like, we're kind of in the golden age of indie comics right now.
We're in. I mean, it's kind of the. I hate the golden age as a term, so I'm not going to comment on that, Matt. But I think we're in a period that's really, really fertile and really interesting for indie creators. It's easier than ever to get direct to consumer marketing and direct to consumer distribution. It's a really cool time. It's allowed me to have a job, so I'm very excited. Yeah, there's some really cool ways to get books to people, and that's awesome. IC3 is going to be one of them. I think that's going to be just the exchange of ideas and the exchange of books that happens at a normal convention, but when everyone's doing kind of the same boots on the ground, guerrilla marketing type stuff. I think every conversation I had last year, and I'm hoping to bring that into what we're doing for panels this year and what we're planning on doing for the future of the show is a really creator focused and creator centric show that fans then get to be a part of, right? The community's so small. Any industry gets to a point where it's small, right? But the comics industry is so tiny, and because of the internet, everything's got a lot tinier. So now being able to actually have these conversations with people. I was just on a podcast with Chris Anderson, and we were talking shop a little bit before we started, and it was just, we both were just left the podcast being like, yeah, this is a really, like, we have some really cool things coming down the pipeline that we're really excited for. And IC3 is kind of a central hub for ideas and stuff moving forward, I think. Or at least that's what I'm, as program director, as liaison, that's what I'm trying to bring to the show.
I was just trying to think of who met who, and then like who's working on projects post IC3, and then like who's going to be bringing those projects to IC3 2025. Like that'll be a really cool experience to be like, hey, I met so and so here last year. We worked on a book together. Here's the book.
Yeah,
that's going to be cool.
Well, speaking of Madi Keen, Madi and I just did that. So I met Madi. Did I meet Madi at? Yeah, I met Madi at IC3.
Okay.
A couple months later, we were talking at HeroesCon, and we did books in each other's books. So that's a thing that happened in between IC3s. Friendships were made. We talk on the phone now. It's a real wild time. But yeah, it's a real central hub. It's a real exciting thing. It's a real exciting time to be around and in comics.
So one goal that I have now is to have Madi Keen and I'm blanking on this. Howard Chaykin do another panel again, because this is a little insider baseball. But at Terrificon, which is about 20 minutes away from my house, Madi Keen did a panel with Howard Chaykin, and Madi got stuck in traffic. Like he was at the convention, but he got stuck walking there. And to listen to Howard Chaykin, I'm a bitch about Madi Keen.
Yeah,
like that was solid stand-up material, like quality, like old school, like just shredding him.
Yeah.
In front of everybody, and I was just like, oh my god, I know this guy. And I was like, I think I even like raised my head, and I was like, hey, he's probably like, stuck in a little there was a crowd but I tried to defend him.
Did you get reamed out after that? Don't try to defend him. He messed up. Madi messed up. He's fine. It's good. His career is on a trajectory. He's in a rocket ship to the moon right now. He is going places.
No, but to listen to Madi stand up to him, because Howard had a really bad experience in the comic book industry, and he is very, his feelings are right there on his sleeve, and he will tell you all about his feelings there. And then Madi is just a super nice guy to begin with, does some really cool stuff, does some interesting marketing, and comes at it from a different direction. He's the fact that he used to do music, I kind of now see the folk artist in Madi.
Yeah.
And Howard tried to I don't know, break his spirit, at that panel. And Madi was like, no, this is what I'm doing. These are my intentions. This is where I'm going. This is what I'm going to do. So
interesting.
And it ended just so everybody knows, it ended on a good note, because I think Madi went and had a steak dinner with Howard afterwards.
I think they've hung out a couple of times.
Yeah, I think now they're buddies.
But
they're going to make the movie Odd. They're going to reboot the Odd Couple together.
Yeah, that's perfect. Really good. Yeah, perfect.
After going to Boston, did I mention that parking is free at IC3? It's free. There's tons of free parking at IC3.
It's a good thing. It's a good commodity.
But no, there's definitely I guess I forgot about it, but there's some things I need to clear off the table. Creators that are coming to IC3, or creators that are hoping to go to IC3, I'm still sending out invites because some people have fallen off, some people canceled, think plans have changed. So, like, if you're on the wait list for IC3, there are emails going out, and if you haven't heard from me, just, like, check in and, see where you are on the wait list, and I'll let you know. Also, for the creators that are coming to Guy C3, expect some emails coming from me about, if you do commissions, like, let's do some pre-commissions. I get those going. Did you do any pre-commissions at the show last year?
I did do a pre-commission at the show last year. I don't think I drew at the show last year. I was just hawking books, which was super fun. But yeah, I will definitely be setting up pre-commissions this year because I will be busy otherwise.
And then also, I'll send out another email about what new books you're bringing to the show as well. And those will all be, like, posted on the IC3 website and on our Substack, where I do my best to, like, promote, your commissions and also, like, what books you're bringing to kind of, like, highlight what, all my job is to highlight everybody. So, like, when I say we're just highlighting everybody, but, like, if you're bringing new books specifically to IC3, like, you're like the golden child.
You're doing your job. Hey, cool, you have a new book. That's awesome. bring more books. Bring more books to the convention. It's great.
You're the Eddie Murphy in the worst movie ever. That Golden Child is not a bad movie, but it's not a good movie.
We're getting derailed. We're having too much fun. We're focused. We got to be in it. We got to be focused. So yeah.
And then also we're looking for
that, because that does help. One, helps promote you, hopefully, but also helps promote the show. That I actually know that does. So having books, having stuff out into the world where we can show it off and we can like ring a bell and be like, hey, look who's coming, look what they're bringing. It's always super fun. It's always really exciting for me to see, like, what new things are coming out. I know a lot of the guys that go to the show. I know everybody. I know everybody who's coming to the show, it feels. And for the people who I don't know, I want to see what your books are doing. I want to see what you're putting out. I want to see what you're making.
Yeah, Instagram really likes it when I put up pretty pictures. So I mean, like, all the covers, you bring me covers, I put them up. People like. I do think our Instagram is doing really well, and it's always excites me when, like, people comment on different artwork or say they're excited about which artist and creator is coming and all those different things, because I'm in my basement right now and I feel like I'm just shouting out into the void, but at least I got
Yeah.
Manny, I got Tony, I see Kezra's here, so seeing people interact with social media, because that's a whole nother can of worms. Always, it reaffirms what I'm doing. So please comment on what we're doing and enjoy all the beautiful artwork that we're doing, that I'm putting up there. But one more house cleaning. We're looking for volunteers. We had a few volunteers last year come to the show, and I don't want to forget his name. Avery Hazelwood was a huge volunteer last year. He took tons of pictures. This year, he's a writer. He's going to be tabling at the show. So I was really excited to see him come in, help out, and now he has a table. And again, one of the cool things about running a show like this is I get to see your career, move on. Like, I get to see your career path. Every once in you come every year, like, oh, I worked on this. Here's my new things. Here I am. Now I'm doing this. Marty's another person, that I keep talking about. Like, he was a guest at Terrificon. He's a guest at Heroes Con now. I mean, like, to just see his star rising is amazing to watch.
Yeah.
And then last year, who did we have last year come down that just put some he's now working on, like, a New Gods book.
Jesse?
Yes.
Jesse Lonergan?
Yes, Jesse Lonergan.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Is he coming again this year? I haven't checked the list in a while. If he's not, Tony McMillan's coming, and Tony McMillan is a good bud.
Yes, Tony McMillan's coming down. Jesse's not coming down yet. I kind of feel like I want to send him an invite.
Send him an invite. What are we doing here? Do it now. Let's go.
Quick. We filled up quick.
That guy's going to the moon. That guy's in the moon.
He is.
He's there.
But no, the show filled up quick. Like surprisingly, we had 300 creators apply for 135 tables.
Yeah,
And so the curating aspect of it was like really tough. And then like
sure.
going through and there was only a few people. Manny, we did reach out to Fife and don't worry, the white whale will come to the show eventually.
Yeah, Fife is busy. This is a thing. He is, finishing Cobra. It's a big to do. It's a big deal.
But last year he gave a shout out to the show. Like he's a
Yeah,
supporter.
he's a big supporter. He loves what we're doing. I talked to him recently, so
Yeah.
he's
So
love that guy.
but yeah, no, put your Manny, keep chiming in with your wish list of creators that you would like to come to the show because this isn't going to be the last one. I mean, this is going to keep growing. Like, I mean, we're in year 2, and in year 2 we have Dean Haspel coming down. We got Jim Rugg coming down. We have
Tom
Tom
Scioli coming
Scioli.
down. We've got
Yeah,
the Ed Piskor Legacy people coming down. Like this is it's getting bigger. It's getting better. It's exciting. I like to think of it, and how I've been trying to think of it is year 1 we did it. Cool. We did a thing. Was it perfect? It was a thing. No, it was not perfect, but it happened. Will work for pizza. That's a good
I
That's a
mean,
good thing.
we do pizza at the place, so I mean, like, we have pizza. But no,
uh,
Kezra is awesome. He's a firm believer in us. He is the head of Comic Art Fans and Original Art Expo, and it's really rewarding to have somebody really support what you're working on. Like it's the field of dreams. If you build it, they will come.
yeah,
And he heard and saw the reaction to the show, and now he's part of it, and he will be there, and that's going to be awesome. Uh, One of the other things about creators coming down, I specifically asked Mike Martz, the editor in chief of Mad Cave, to come down, and Heather Anthos, the editor over at IDW, to come down because I want this to be a learning experience as well for creators. So if you have a chance to, get a portfolio review from Heather or Mike, like that's going to be huge and like help you as well. And I know Eli Schwab from Cosmic Lion, he's also going to do portfolio reviews. I mean, I've already told him like 3 times, but he probably doesn't remember, but he's gonna be doing it.
he's going to be doing it. Yeah,
And
they're all
he's
going
one
to
of
be
the
doing
nicest
a
people
panel
too. But
too.
like
That's secret.
secret. Eli, you're doing
They've been
portfolio.
tapped. Yeah, I think that's yeah, it's super great. It feels like an actual convention. Last year, it felt like we were running over. We were seeing how far we could run over the cavern before we fell. But this year, it feels like we're actually like on a rope bridge, and it might not be a real sturdy rope bridge, but we're on a rope bridge, and that's really great. I kind of keep trying to keep my mind in like we are doing a show. This is the second one. If each one gets a little bit more of the energy that we're trying to make and trying to cultivate moving forward, I think that's the big thing. That's the big good, right?
Yeah. Another one, Justin Zimmerman, he's coming down. He's a writer,
Nice.
and I think is gonna bring out like 500 copies to just give away of his new book.
That's super
And
cool.
so I will get, I think it's Battle Quest, but I don't want to say exactly what the title is, but I will confirm with Justin about that. And
Nice.
but I met him at New York Comic Con. He had already signed up for a table, but we had a conversation there, and that guy is pumped. Like it's always cool because like I'm running a marathon. Like it's a year-long marathon to get this show ready, and then like we're in the once we get into the 90 days, it's like a sprint. So I'm always like
Yeah.
chugging along. So it's always good to like stop, have a creator stop me and be like, I'm so excited to come to the show.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, cool. Cause that's like my little granola bar to get to the next mile. And then there's another creator that like shakes me up and goes, I'm so excited to come to the show.
Yeah.
I think it's Rick Lopez sends me like a Facebook message at least once a week being like, thanks, dude. You're the
That's
best.
awesome.
Can't wait for this. So those little messages that you guys send me are awesome, and I appreciate it. And I think it's CK Craig. He's another one that always sends me like a little like pick me up message.
This is a very name-droppy introduction of what this rebranding of what this podcast is being about IC3. I guess that's great. Go follow all of those people that we've mentioned. The other thing to kind of piggyback off of that, we are wanting to do featured artists on this thing moving forward. We're gonna try for once a week. That's the plan. We're both busy. Matt has kids. I do not, but I'm a degenerate partier that needs to go out and party all the time.
Oh, don't worry. You're the hourglass is running quickly, sir.
Yeah. We started this thing at what, 9 o'clock? Gosh, those are prime party times, Matt.
But yes, so the point of this podcast, and what again, the whole point of this is the show is a creator-driven show by creators, and Indie Comic Creator Con. Like the whole goal is to put a spotlight on the indie community and bring people to it, new fans, old fans, young fans, all the fans to it, so that they can discover your work and we can build from there. And part of putting the spotlight on the creators is hosting a podcast like this, to where you can come on and and we can. I'm learning StreamYard, and so I'm going to figure it out. And it's funny because I didn't want to be Captain Kirk, but you're definitely the number one.
Oh yeah,
you're definitely like Spock. Like I
Oh,
want to
yeah.
be like McCoy. I want to be the Doctor, or Scotty being like, the engines are gonna blow up, but I'll figure. I got some
Doesn't
duct
work,
tape. I
yeah.
got a wrench. Like that's me. I'm more Scotty. I'm not like Captain Kirk.
Right. Well, sometimes Scotty's got to get in command, baby.
But no,
I
we
feel
can
more
do.
like Bones. So, like, let's be real. It's two not prime time guys running the ship. There's a thing. I have had this conversation with a bunch of people, and I would like to just mention it as well. We keep saying Indie Comics IC3 is a show for creators by creators. Matt has written stuff. And I know, like, sometimes you are a part of that community, right? Like, sometimes people forget because you are in charge and ahead of stuff. But one of my longest running collaborations has been with you. So, like, that's a thing.
Let me know when somebody gets close to the record, and then I'll be like, hey, we got to do like 2 more pages of Tales.
You are second. It's like Vita Ayala is much higher than you on the list of people.
Dang it.
On what I've actually produced. But yeah, you're second.
When are we going to get Vita up to the show?
Oh, that's a good question. I can I can probably pull some strings.
What else? Okay, what else do I have on the house? Did I mention that there's free parking? I've done it. I've done it the 3 times. The joke is done. It's good.
We hit it.
I'm not gonna pull a Family Guy where there'll be a 4th and a 5th and a 6th.
Listen, but if you hit that 7th, it's funny again, and that's all you can do. Scavenger hunt. Let's talk about things in the show that are going to keep people at the show and looking at tables and looking at booths and exploring all of the areas in the place, in the house, in the show floor.
So Anton W. Blake created this amazing D&D style map of the convention floor, because this year we're going to have like 150 plus creators. Last year we had about 90, right around 100, and we only took up like the ballroom in the front area. This year we're taking over the whole entire 3rd floor of the Student Center at Southern Connecticut State University, and I want to make sure that everybody hits all the different rooms that have creators in it. Because if you haven't been there before, you either take up the elevator to the 3rd floor, and if you get off the elevator, right there, the panels are going to be right there as you get out the door. And then there's a big atrium and stairs. There'll be creators set up. and then there's a long hallway to the ballroom, and there's all glass windows there, and so everything's very bright and airy, and just a beautiful venue for a show. Did you get sound effects?
I do. Yeah. Pew pew.
So
Computers are
along
cool,
this,
man. They can do sound effects. That's the future of this podcast. Is uh, like a zoo crew style. There's a dragon on the map. It's gonna be great. There is a dragon on the map. It looks
there
really
is. It's
cool.
amazing. When Anton sent me that, I was like, "There's an effing dragon on this map." It's amazing. It's in the. I think it's like in the bathroom area, which just makes sense. But so you go in this long hallway before you hit the ballroom, and along the hallway there are these big rooms, and I'm gonna fill these rooms up. There's 6 rooms. I'm gonna fill those rooms up with creators, and then along the hallway there'll be creators along the hallway, and then there's a big like foyer area with tables, and then you have the big ballroom. So there's a lot of places for you to find indie creators, but I want to make sure that you find them. So I gamified it a little bit to where you get a D&D map, and you got to find the different stamps in the different rooms, and then you get your map stamped, and then you come back to me, or you come back to Anthony. We haven't talked about Anthony yet. Anthony is huge, and Anthony Composto, he'll be down at the front area, and
What a guy.
having you two guys on my shoulder is an interesting moral compass right there.
Yeah. That is how this works. Anthony is the neurotic one. I am I'm the dude in that situation. If anyone has ever made me look more like the dude, it is Anthony. When he picked me up from the airport, the first thing he said was like, "Jamie, have you watched the new episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm?" I was like, "Wow, that's very Anthony coded." So it's this is who this man is. He's a beautiful man.
He is a beautiful man. So, okay, back to the scavenger hunt. You go to the different rooms, you find the stamp, you get all the stamps, and then you come back down to the main counter, like entranceway, and you'll get a free poster, and then you'll get entered into the grand prize drawing of, we don't know yet, but there will be a grand prize drawing, and somebody will win something epic. I just need somebody to make that.
The grand prize poster.
I do need one of the creators to make a grand prize poster, or maybe like somebody makes it. There's a collaboration during Drink and Draw where somebody draws something like that.
That's the idea. That's the thing. We're gonna do that.
Yeah.
See, this is why we're actually having this podcast. What we are doing is bringing you into the way Matt and I talk, in a way, and then we have ideas, and then I go, "Yeah, that's good." So that's what we're gonna do. I'll make sure that happens.
Yeah, because there's definitely some cool people that are going to be at Drink and Draw on Friday.
There's some super cool people. Everyone's there. It's cool. It's a cool time.
And
it's the greatest time.
There's only a few hotels. So if you go to the website right now and you scroll down, you'll see the hotel for it, the official hotel of IC3, and I just clicked off the page. Dang it. So let's go back to the page. And if you scroll down, it has a weird name, but it's still it's a well-known hotel. It's the Courtyard New Haven at Yale, because Yale's campus is right there. And we have a block of rooms. We have a group rate. There's only I talked to Kenneth at Marriott, and he got back to me, and we're like very limited on rooms right now. So if you haven't booked your room, definitely go to the website, click on that, and get your room ASAP. Because I think we're gonna have like 50 rooms at the hotel. Last year we had like 27.
That's great. That's awesome.
And we took over I talked to them about keeping the hotel bar open later. They did. They kept the hotel bar open later, and then they just left us there. They closed it down, and then they just left us there.
Yeah.
And then everybody figured out what to do after that.
Yeah. It was a great time.
And the Popeyes is open late on Saturday.
Yes, that's also true. It's right across the street.
So if you like to plan out, your eating experience, go get your pizza early. Popeyes late. That Thai restaurant we went to around the corner was really good.
Yeah.
That's another dumb story. Is like that Friday afterwards, I ran all day and we loaded everybody in. And then I think it was like 8 o'clock by the time I got something to eat. And we go into this restaurant and the waitress was like, "What do you want?" I was like, "Well, for appetizer, I want all the dumplings."
Yeah.
And she's like, "What?" I
This
was
is a
like, "Well,
good way
just
to
give me
run dumplings.
yeah, just give me an order of all the dumplings. Give me every dumpling that you have on this menu. Just bring them out."
It's a
And they
good.
were good.
Hey, we had a great time.
It's a good
It
time.
was a good thing.
What else do we? Oh, my kids have put in their commission requests. 'Cause, I mean, they're getting older and they understand what's going on, and my kids are getting really excited for these shows because they did my show. They've gone to Terrificon. I think they've gone to like one other comic book show, and so now they're getting excited. And I was kind of talking to them about things because they still think like I tell them I go play hockey, they think I'm playing professional hockey. I was like, "No, I'm playing beer league hockey." Like I tell them I make comic books, they're like, "Wait, you make movies?" I was like, "No, I don't make movies." So I'm trying to like, because they're 6 and they're 8. I mean, so they're small and I'm still trying to make them understand the world and all these fun things. But like, so I told my kids, I was like, "Hey, we can get an artist to make you something." And like I showed them different things in my room. Like I think your stuff is sitting over here. I have Jesse Lonergan's Michelangelo right here, which is epic. I got that last year. Chris Anderson did a Raphael for me, and then Madi did Leonardo, and then Tony McMillan did Donnie for me. And these commissions are amazing, and I love the spirit in all of them. They're all different. It's like a spectrum of turtles, and it's like a nice little thing. So I talked to my girls, and so Honey, he's 6. I have twins, just so everybody knows. I got twins that are 6-year-old. Honey, she wants a Stitch. So if there's any creators out there that want to do like a Stitch commission for me, let me know about that. Tessa is the other half of the twins. She wants a dragon holding a snow globe. So very specific. Yeah, she didn't tell me what she wants in the snow globe. She just told me she wanted holding a snow globe. And then Alice, she's 8 going on 45. She wants Bluey. I love Bluey. I think it's one of the most well-written cartoons ever out there. But like, we need somebody to do like an epic Bluey, like whoever can do like their McFarlane version of Bluey. Like that would be pretty cool. And then I am like I did these turtle commissions last year because it was the 40th anniversary of Turtles. This year, I was like, oh man, what are the things I like that nobody really does? I like Big Boy and I like Astro Boy. So if anybody is really psyched about drawing Big Boy or Astro Boy, those are commissions that I'm looking at. And then, because I always like having stuff unique. Like I've had you did a Rocky Balboa for me.
I did, yeah.
And I got it. This is always sitting on my shelf. Let's see if I get this closer. My Tony Parker, Howard the Duck. I got that during COVID. So I like the random stuff. I like the random. Do you get commissions since you're an artist?
I have a sketchbook full of sketches by other artists and other people, all of old comic strip characters, and that's my that's my
classic
collection.
Jamie. Classic Jamie.
Yeah. Just can't be young. Gotta be old. Well, there's some really cool stuff in there. Tony McMillan did a Dick Tracy in there.
Cool.
Yeah, Nick Cagnetti did a Phantom in there for me. There's some really cool stuff. Madi did a Lucky Luke. That was very fun. Yeah,
we need to figure out how to get. We need to figure out how to get Nick out to the show.
Cagnetti?
Yeah,
we can
because he's
figure
in
that
Arizona,
out. Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Because he did a strip in the first Monkeys Fighting Robots magazine.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Get him out. He also I worked with Nick on the Baboon Pink Lemonade Jamboree, which is canonically in Pink Lemonade. I think it's issue 3. Baboon is just in issue 3 of Pink Lemonade. It's very cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Indie Comics, we can do whatever we want. When it's creator owned, you can do whatever you want, and that's a very cool thing.
That's pretty awesome. Okay, so we'll wrap this up shortly because we're approaching like an hour, and Jamie's got to go hit the town of Savannah.
I got to read Titus Grown, man. I'm addicted to this book, Titus Grown. It's fantastic. If you haven't read it, it's a dense read, but it's good.
Hey,
People
BK on the
in the
air.
world, read Titus Grown before IC3 so we can talk about it.
Ooh, I like that. BK on the air. He's been a fan, and we've been connected since I think we launched Monkeys Fighting Robots, probably like 2015. So the past 9 years, like BK and I have been like digital acquaintances. And one of the aspects of this show, IC3, is that we had a whole bunch of digital acquaintances, and then we all met up at the show.
Yeah.
And so that was really cool. But as the show grows, one of the things that I want to do is I want to bring in more schools and students and hopefully inspire the next generation of indie creators. Pepsi had that slogan, "Choice of a new generation," and I totally want to steal it. I want to see if it's outdated. I want to trademark, I want to trade indie comics, choice of the new generation, because every generation goes to indie comics.
That's really good. Somebody make an ad. Somebody make a Pepsi ad. That's for IC3.
But we have a few high school art teachers that will be at the show.
Oh, nice.
And so that's really cool. Last year we had I sent out passes to UConn. I know we had a lot of kids come from UConn from their art program. I'm working on contacting, like, Yale has a master's art program. There's you have the art school in Providence. There's a lot of really cool, amazing art schools in the area. And if you go to any of those schools, please reach out to me so that I can make sure that your class gets tickets to the show. So I really want to bring in more students that will be like, holy shit, like this stuff is amazing. And because I mean, I have several like holy shit moments in the comic book world where I like read a book and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing, and I love this medium so much. I don't know how many moments you've had, but for me, it's like there's tons.
I've had a few. I've had a few. I've been in comics for a few years. To piggyback off of that, all of the panels this year for IC3, and I hope as like a thing that we can do for IC3 that's really integrated into the ethos, the pathos, and the logos of what we are trying to do here is it's a show for creators. I don't care if you're a young creator, if you're an old creator, if you're new creator, it doesn't matter. So all of the panels this year are very focused on panels that matter. We're doing stuff that is very pointed into certain aspects of the industry that I think help us all in total. My goal and my hope is I end up listening to a lot of panels that have been recorded, and while I'm working and drawing, and one of the things that I always try to think when I go in is like, if I can get 5 seconds of good information from any of these things, from these 30-minute, 45-minute panels, that's enough. So each one is a little different. Just as a little teaser as to some of the panels that are coming up, how to pitch to comic shops. That's going to be a panel. We've got Lee Heidel, who runs a comic shop in my hometown in Savannah. He has a great, I've heard his pitch. I know how he pitches this thing, so it works really well. But also, they run an artist in residence program over there, and that's a really big, they won like a Diamond Distributor Award this past year for that program. So how to pitch to comic shops. That seems useful to everybody. Day one, how do you start? I think that's a useful thing. We don't talk about it enough. A lot of times when you get into panels and you get into talking about people or get talking about process, we skip day one. You're like, oh, I have this idea, and then I'm drawing the book. That's not how that works. Get out of here. How to ask good questions. This is more on the journalist side, but a lot of people like us are starting podcasts. A lot of individual creators have podcasts. And guess what? We are bad at asking questions.
Yes.
you do a couple of panels, you do a couple of podcasts. Panels are not the questions that are being asked to cartoonists or anybody who works in the industry are just not good. And so we're trying to write that with our panel, how to ask good questions. So these are just a sampling, a smattering of things that are to come. I'm sure as we get closer, we'll announce more and more stuff like that. But yeah, so that's a perfect place and a perfect way for students and more people to get involved with the show. I will be in that room all day. I think that's the other thing. I do not have a table at the show. My table is in. I'm gonna have like a tiny little fold-out table in the panel room. So I am not. I feel like I'm not really a part of the show. I'm doing.
No, you're on the D&D map.
I am on the D&D map.
You're gonna have a stamp.
So
you're gonna have a stamp. Like it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I'm excited to really push forward kind of the dialogue that we have between each other and make everyone better.
No, it's been. We did it once. We did the show once. Now we're on year 2, and it's like we're bringing in more creators. We're kind of like focused on different things that like some things worked better, some things we had to fix a little bit. Like we're in the tweaking mode kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the big thing is since it's a creator show, it's focused on creators, brought to you by creators. It's indie comics. Indie comics is a niche. It's a niche of a niche.
It's a niche of a niche. Yeah, right. It's a niche of a niche of a niche.
One of the biggest things that we need is support from everyone. So if you're a creator attending, you have to share the show. If you're coming to the show, drag all your friends with you. Like if you are an art student or an art teacher and you hear this or see this and you're like, oh man, I really want to bring my students. Like, shoot me a message and we'll make it happen. Like, but we have to do it together. Like this was not putting the show together was not an individual event. It took a lot of people. There was a Kickstarter, tons of help from Eli and Rocco and you and Anthony and everybody who else like helped me do the millions of posters that we did last year. Like it was a community that brought this event together, and it's a community that will continue to grow this event. And like I have to say thank you to a million people, and I appreciate everybody that believes in the show and has helped the show. And it's one of those things where we just got to keep working until we get to that momentum, and then we're gonna still have to keep working because like you can't take it easy. It's indie comics. You got to hustle.
Yeah. I mean that's the every day. You got to wake up and you got to make the thing. That's just the long and short of it. I'm going to say it one more time because I think this is my 3rd time on the podcast. I know I've said it a lot before we got on, but let's take this thing to the moon. I think that's my 3rd time.
Yeah. Beetlejuice.
That's right.
All right. We're right at an hour. We're going to close it out right now because I think Jamie and I are both. You guys don't want to listen to us talk anymore. We're done. We're out of here.
Yeah.
All right.
If you want to be on the podcast, last thing. If you want to be on the podcast, hit us up. We would love to feature you. That's a big thing. Follow us on the social medias. Indie Comics Creator Con on everything now. We've been posting a lot on Blue Sky. We've been posting a lot on Instagram. We've been doing that, and that's really fun. You can follow me at Art of Jamie Jones on literally everything. You can follow Matthew Sardo on at Matthew Sardo. I think that's what you are on everything.
Yes,
this is a good
thing.
Yeah. We are doing things. We're trying things. Follow us. Hit us up on the socials. Hit us up. Call us. Do you have our number? I miss you. Call me.
All right, so OAX, I gotta promo this. OAX is January 24th through 26th. It's in Orlando, Florida. This is the biggest original art trade show and art fair in the world. I think it's bigger than the one in Italy.
Is it bigger than Lake Como?
It is bigger than Lake Como.
Wow.
Yeah, it's bigger.
Wow.
So we have that coming up in January. We have IC3 coming up in March 15th. Tickets are $8. Parking's free. People are coming from all over the world to come to the show. To creators come. We're bringing in the Canadians. Canadians are coming down. You're bringing up a Savannah crew. Eli's bringing everybody from the West Coast. And then we have this amazing New England comic book scene that I'm learning about, and it's spectacular. And the history is super rich. So definitely come to the show. And if you can't come to the show, there's still going to be a giant commission list, and I'm sure somebody will send you some artwork.
Yeah, that's gonna be dope. It's gonna be good. Gonna be good times.
Hi, so Jamie, now you have to make your official closing of the podcast.
Hey, go read my comics. Go read other people's comics, but go read mine. I got a Substack. Go over there.
We got to work on that, guys. All right, everybody have a good week. Today's new comic book day, right? Enjoy your new comic book day. Read some books. Comment below with what books you read, what indie books you like, and we'll talk to you next week.
Because Matt, what is comics?
What? There it is. There it is. You did it.
Hey.